Hey there, you're tuned in to PHI and PPE, where Deanna and Amy break down the tough stuff in dental practice safety and compliance, all in bite-sized, snark-filled episodes. I'm Deanna Otts-Whitfield, your ocean infection control expert, and here with me is Amy Wood, the HIPAA and cybersecurity fraud expert. So let's dive in today. If you haven't noticed already, I'm wearing my mask around my chin. Amy, would you like to ask me why?
Because you want to show people how wrong they are in their wrongness.
How not to do it? How not to do it? Nothing chaps my butt more than after you're done working on a patient and you do this. All of that saliva, spray, splatter, germs, bacteria, just now sitting on your chin. And then you go hug your patient or you pick up a kid and hug on them. Then you got all those germs on your neck. You know what else I see that just drives me crazy is when staff members are not changing their gloves. They open a drawer, reach in and grab something, or they get up out of that room and go into the supply closet or sterilization and they pick up a device, a tool, an instrument, whatever the case may be, and they're not changing their gloves. Or I've seen providers that will take their gloves off, take one off one hand, and insert. I don't even know how they do it. They just roll it back onto this other hand. So this hand's clean, and then they roll that back off and put it on. And now they
There's no way they can do that without contaminating some part of their hand or wrist.
why? Just why? It can't save time, and it can't save that much money. You know what's going to cost you extra money is when that patient becomes sick, or you or your staff member becomes sick because of a lack of proper infection control.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to touch on a few things about PPE and the importance of it. And I think we all understand the reason for wearing PPE, but is everyone wearing it correctly? No. Do you know your arms, your skin, your hands are supposed to be covered during patient care? I mean, even if you have something, your scrubs are not your PPE. Your scrubs are just not PPE. So they must be covered up. They must be covered up. So I like to wear a scrub cap just because I use an ultrasonic scaler, I use air polishers. That stuff is flying all over the room. So it's all about protecting yourself because remember, you have a life outside of that office, whether sometimes we think we do or we don't because we're awfully busy. You've got to go home to your family and your kids and your parents and your grandparents, and you'll see your neighbors and you may stop by the grocery store. And if you're wearing the 10 a.m. patient saliva all over your scrub top, that's not cool. You're not part of
No.
the cool kids club.
Well, and not to mention, like, it's cold and flu season right now. And we're about to get into the family holidays. And, you're going to be swapping a lot of germs as it is. You don't need to introduce even more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, with that being said, touch real lightly on making sure you are washing your hands religiously and sanitizing them with a hand sanitizer. If there's nothing visible or sticky or gooey on your hands, you can use hand sanitizer. Perfectly fine. So, yes, we're going into that yucky season and it's going to be cold. Everyone's stuck indoors and they're all breathing the same recycled air. Take care of yourself and get your flu shot if you haven't done so yet.
Did. I did.
All right, Amy, what do you have for us today?
Well, we just passed the deadline for Windows 10 being replaced with Windows 11. And
Wow.
I know it's crazy. I'm starting to feel very middle-aged now because I remember when we first put in Windows XP computers into offices. That's how old I am. Yes, I was born in the 1900s. Um, I played Oregon Trail on an Apple IIe in computer lab in elementary school.
I love that. I
I
love
know.
that.
And the floppy drives that you can do this too.
Oh yeah. Why did we have to do that? Did we have to get the disc down to the bot? Like, why did we have?
No, we didn't have to. It was just fun.
There really wasn't a purpose behind doing
No,
this with the. Oh my gosh.
no,
Oh my! I thought it was like part of the protocol.
no. I mean, it was part of our protocol because we were kids and it was fun.
Oh my gosh. I remember that. Pushing the
Yeah.
button.
Yep. And then,
Mm.
you'd get dysentery and die in Oregon Trail where you'd break
Typhoid
it.
fever.
Yeah, yeah, you'd get the old-timey diseases or
Mm.
lose an ox in the river or break an axle.
Do we
Yeah,
still have ox here?
oxen? Is that the
Yeah.
right word?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, we got off on a side quest there. So back to Windows 10. So the deadline to update that was actually October 14th, and we are now in November, so that is technically passed. However, I kind of want to go into a couple details on this because if we were talking about those Windows XP, even Windows 7 computers that we were putting in, the operating system updates were extremely important in your security protocol. It was one of your first lines of defense. Now, 15, 20 years later, we're looking at that as it's still a line of defense in your security posture, but it's arguably not the most important. Now, don't misunderstand me, don't twist my words, don't soundbite this, anything. You still have to replace it. I would not recommend adding Windows 11 to an old computer. 3 to 5 years is lifespan on a computer now. So anything, I know it's crazy with how expensive everything is to know so I always recommend just overbuild your computer for everything you're going to do for the next 5 years and be proactive and replace them within a budget. I mean, I have to say, with doctors, dental especially, this is something that I never see in the budget. So when I was doing IT, we would sit down once a year and we would say, here's the age of everything. Here's the budget I want you to set for next year with your accountant. And here are the ones that are coming up. Here are the ones we're having problems with. Here are the ones that we've gotten a couple of tickets on. We want to get ahead of this so it doesn't cost production time. And when we're looking at this overall security posture, it's training your people is dollar for dollar the best thing that you can do. Train your people to not do dumb preventable things and then have security in place so that if something should happen, it's an accident instead of negligence. So having a business grade firewall, having business grade antivirus, running all your patches and updates. That's where this Windows 10 to Windows 11 category falls into.
So that was going to be my question, Amy.
Yeah.
Teach me. So we're whatever whoever says the requirement is, the requirement stands with the information that Windows 11 allows to create securities,
Mhm.
right? That are current because now Windows 10 is outdated. We've
Yep.
got to update to 11 to make sure that we have the most safe and secure, you
Yeah.
know, um, applications,
Yeah.
right? Is that what why we're having to update?
Yeah.
Does
So
that
what happens is with each of these softwares, there will be a sunset period. So Windows XP was the longest. It was something like 10 years.
That's
And
okay. I remember that where it
yeah,
updates for so long.
they'll run
Okay.
patches and updates, which means they're adding new features, but they're also closing security gaps. So whenever there's new things that are coming out, there's new hacking attempts, there's new possible ways for people to steal data because they suck, and I wish there was more money in it for the good guys, but sadly, there is a lot of money in it for the bad guys. So that's why they keep doing this. Um,
So let me ask you another question, Amy, just to clarify for maybe those out there that maybe have the same question. We're not saying that all of these practices have to go buy a whole new computer,
no, no, not
but if
necessarily.
their if their system is big enough for the update, they need to purchase the update to 11, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I kind of look at it as if your computer's about 2 years old, absolutely, go ahead. It should be built. well enough. Now,
Hmm.
it's always iffy when people start buying their own computers and they end up with home grade computers. Well, first of all, you're a
Hmm.
business. Act like it. You're a
My
business.
next door neighbor does that for $75 a computer.
I I saw
Mm.
on a social media post not too long ago someone buying them off of Amazon. And my first thought was, oh, no, 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 no. That's a home operating system, not a pro, not a business level operating system. And dental is really
Mm.
weird. It's persnickety, it's funky, it's a lot of other interesting words, but it requires a lot of extra for image acquisition, especially if you're still have a server in the office. You're doing comb beam, you're
Mm.
doing all these, heavy computer necessary things. That's not the right term I wanted to use, but you get the point. It's
Oh yeah, I get the point.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like it's consuming a lot on those computers. And so if you have an older computer that's a little slower or it's not built to be able to withstand the wear and tear you're putting on it and the demands of the programs that you're using or the hardware that you're plugging in, like even just a 3D scanner, you put them in for Invisalign or anything like that, those computers need to be built more than you would, say, a front desk computer. So, like, I kind of looked at it when I
Huh.
was doing this. I wasn't just an IT provider, I wasn't fixing broken things. We were also providing solutions to address the needs of what that individual practice had. And that part was actually fun and interesting. Fixing all-in-one wireless printers that offices had bought from Costco themselves, that was not anything that sparked joy. In fact, we talk about it a lot. We have wanted to do rage room parties with all-in-one wireless printers.
Well, I've got one over here that I need help with, Amy.
Can we have a office space moment and just play some rap music on it?
Absolutely.
Go to town with
Absolutely we
baseball
can.
bats.
Absolutely we can. Oh
Yeah.
man.
But I
Yeah.
mean, back to the Windows 11 thing, talk to a real IT provider. Don't try to engineer this stuff yourself anymore. I know that we're in a society of DIY everything, but the demands of dental are interesting
Mhm.
and you can mess it up really fast. And you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on computers and then have it give you a tiny bit of difference or no noticeable difference.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, the days of my former glory days of being in IT, now I just get to look at compliance as a whole. And when I look at that, I'm like, yeah, patches and updates are absolutely important, but training the people is your first line of defense now.
Yeah. True.
So, like, if you haven't done it yet, get it done, get it on this year's taxes, and just get it done. Everybody's kind
Mm.
of rushing to do the end of the year thing in your offices, but this is also something that needs to be done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You mentioned something earlier about watching someone make a purchase on Amazon, but you saw this on social media.
Mhm.
I just want to mention one more thing about PPE. I saw something on social media once again the other day. There's so many dental offices that are out there creating a lot of content to, share the word about their office. It's great. However, there are things that I see in these social media posts that are not quite compliant.
Hmm.
And so I did run across one the other day where one of the staff members walked around to each one of the other staff members and was asking them a question. And everyone in the entire office had their mask around the base of their chin. Everybody. So that image was out in the world at this point in time. And if someone that's a patient of that practice goes in and they have any kind of working knowledge of PPE or infection control and they see that, I would be not really looking forward to going to visit them as my healthcare provider. You know, we have a big discussion within the dental space right now about being healthcare providers. And I think we should start acting like them, to be honest, in a lot of ways. So that's my soapbox for today.
Yeah. Well, and to kind of add on that, I just looked it up while you were talking. Approximately 11 to 14% of Americans work in healthcare. So they're receiving this kind of training on
Mhm.
basic PPE and infection control.
Right.
And I remember doing this when I was working in a hospital in a surgical ICU. And I took it very seriously. Well, self-professed germaphobe here, but also I took it very seriously because I was tasked with making sure that uh, a cart full of supplies did not go into an isolation room because that patient would be charged $10,000 for that entire cart full of supplies. Syringes and test tube vials and chalks and stuff like
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
And if the doctor or nurse or whoever needed a vial and a syringe, that could be handed to them
Mhm.
safely. And
Right.
so in dentistry, like I want people to realize there are a lot of people, especially since 2020, since that awful disease we shall not name, that they're more aware of the terms PPE and how it should be used and how it shouldn't. And we made fun of people that did weird things like wear a hoodie with a glass, lid to a pan, a cooking
Uh-huh.
pan.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so they're just more aware and I kind of look at all of that as yes, it does help, but it's also really good PR for your office.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, joke time, Amy. I've got a good one for you.
Yay.
Why don't chemical spills make good parties?
Like a party party?
Like a party!
I don't know. Why?
Because they're always a mess. They're always a mess. They're always a mess. They do not make a good party.
That really
All
makes
right, you
sense,
got
though.
it kind of does in a weird, goofy way.
I love the jokes.
Oh
They're
gosh.
so lame and so awesome.
All right, you got one for me?
I got a joke for you. Why don't hackers like
Okay.
coffee shops?
Why don't hackers like coffee shops? I thought hackers do like coffee shops. Why?
They do like coffee shops, but they don't want to share their Wi-Fi with you unless they're hacking you. That's a lame
Ah,
one.
ooh, that's sneaky.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
sneaky.
gonna
Hey, it
find a
makes you
different
think when
one.
you go into these public places and log on to their Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Ooh, we need to
Yeah.
make a whole episode about that.
Next time.
Yeah, yeah,
Until next
definitely.
time.
Until next time. Well, you know what? That's it for PHI and PPE today. I want you to remember that compliance really is a team sport. It is a sport that's spread across our entire industry, all the way down to you as an individual, including your entire team at your office. And me and Amy are on your bench. We're here to help you with any questions, concerns that you have. If you want to share your experiences, we would love for that. So until next time, keep it safe, keep it smart, subscribe and like.
Thank you for joining us. For more information, please go to www.copperpennyconsulting.com. Bye.